regular meeting of the Villa Park City Council. I hereby call the meeting to order. Jared, will you please call the
Testing, maybe a little loud. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Burnett.
Present.
Councilman Colacott.
Here.
Councilwoman Fasenelli.
Present.
Tim Nelson.
Here.
Mayor Mills.
Present. Thank you. Today I'll ask Terry Brooks to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise.
Please place your hands over your hearts and salute the flag of this great nation. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Terry.
You gonna sing, Terry? You're not singing?
No, it's not in the morning.
Oh.
At this time, I'd like to ask everyone in the audience to please silence your cell phones or turn them off as possible. The City Council and staff welcome you to this meeting, and we encourage your participation. If you wish to address the City Council, please complete and submit a speaker card, which is in the back, they're blue, and give it to the City Clerk, which is Jared, sitting right here. Speakers are limited to a time period of 5 minutes. First of all, I'd like to have a proclamation. Rick Pinson, could you come up, please? We have a presentation for the Pancreatic Proclamation for World Pancreatic Day in the City of Villa Park, which is tomorrow. So we'd like to present this to Rick Pinson. And let's get a picture, if we can.
Picture, Jerry.
Thank you, appreciate it. Proclamation.
Picture.
Thank you very much. You know, it's really intuitive because there's a lot of, I know two people right now that are fighting that.
Cheers.
But it's really tough. Hopefully your organization's doing a good job at least Lincoln, the people trying that they are able to survive.
We are having some success. The 5-year survival rate right now is 8%. 5 years ago, it was 4%. So I believe we're at a crossroads.
Did you have anything else you'd like to tell us from the podium? You can certainly address us.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much. I'll first start by mentioning my wife, Linda, who's the reason I'm involved in this cause. I lost her 4 years ago tomorrow, in fact, to pancreatic cancer. So you can be assured if you meet anybody from the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network that they have a personal stake in fighting this disease, as I do. The proclamation lists a number of negative statistics about the disease, but I'd rather leave you with a message of hope and progress. As I mentioned, of course, the 5-year survival rate of 8% right now is one of the lowest of any cancers. But 5 years ago, it was half that, 4%. And right now, there are so many more lines of research that weren't possible a few years ago. The ability to genetically sequence a patient's tumor to find out what specific mutation might be causing the cancer will, I believe, lead us to more and more personalized treatments. There's research ongoing to increase a patient's ability to use their own immune system to fight the cancer. And early detection is another huge part of our research. If we can find this earlier, we can cure it much more frequently. So the message is, while there are a lot of negative statistics now, that I believe is about to change. So I appreciate your time and issuing this proclamation and for giving me a chance to speak.
Well, thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Pinson,
you.
for your work too and your volunteerism. I'm sure it's a comfort to many families and, of course, friends as well. Thank you very much, sir. Noting that, could we have the report from the Orange County Sheriff? Lieutenant Puckett.
Good evening. I can report that, knock on wood, October was a slow month for the city of Villa Park crime-wise. There was some bleed over here from the last reporting from the last city council meeting, so one of these may sound redundant, but you had a total of 3 reportable Part 1 crimes last month. You had 1 theft where a gardener's unattended tool was taken from his work location. You had another petty theft where a political sign was removed from a public street. And then you had what we're classifying as an attempted burglary where a window screen appeared to have been pried open at the Cerro Villa Middle School, but there was no loss and no entry for that case. We had a total of 4 reportable non-injury traffic collisions in the city. And we issued a total of 17 traffic citations and 8 parking citations.
Outstanding.
Any questions from the council to Lieutenant Puckett?
Can we arrange for the theft of the remaining political signs?
I will get to work on that, sir.
Well, I think actually I was very impressed that although the signage we had in the city was picked up within hours on Wednesday morning, so I think that was pretty great for last week. So, thank you, and I'm glad you don't have a whole lot for us. That's what we'd like to hear. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Lieutenant. The Fire Authority is not here tonight. Does anybody have a report on them by chance or know where they might be? Okay. Bill, could you fill us in on the vector control?
Well, we haven't had a meeting since the last meeting. Our meeting this month is Thursday.
Okay. Orange County Sanitation, which is me, we've had 2 meetings and we've solidified some basic wage ranges for the folks that work. There's like 5 different unions that work at the sanitation district. Plus, they also have an executive staff as well, and they have another type of representative arrangement. Other than that, we are looking at some property to purchase. That is to expand the sanitation district across Ellis Street, and that is for administration and research and development buildings as well. We're going to have to expand the plant number 1, which is Fountain Valley, and to do that, you need, any construction needs space in which to operate, and also to bring down the cost of the overall construction. Usually, there's a $400 million budget every year at the sanitation district, give or take 50 or 60 million. And they're on the tail end of a lot of improvements they're doing now, but we anticipate more and more capacity, plus expanding the groundwater reclamation system as well, which is the GWRS. You can see evidence of that up here on the Santa Ana River, at Lakeview, and at Kramer, where you see the river's low, but yet there's ponds there. That water goes down into the aquifer that is all part of this area general area of Anaheim and Orange. So that's very good news there. Otherwise, it's very, very quiet. And tomorrow night I have the last meeting we have one more meeting in December as well for the Orange County Sanitation District. And tomorrow night we have another one. The Library Advisory Board is next.
We did not meet this past month.
Okay. Budget and Finance.
No meeting.
Okay. Community Development and Public Safety.
No meeting?
That's going to be later on this next month, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Human Resources. Any reportable?
We've had several meetings. Bill and I have met, I think at least 4 times in our search for a city manager, and we've been interviewing consistently, and we're making progress.
Thank you. City Schools Advisory.
No meeting this month.
Law Enforcement Advisory.
Vince Rossini, the chairman of the Law Enforcement Advisory Committee, had a death in the family. He's unable to attend. He gave me some notes and asked me to pass them on. That, of course, we had a report from Lieutenant Puckett. Same good news that we received here tonight. The CERT coordinator, Tom Dodge, announced that there will be a refresher course that will be held for recertification of CERT volunteers on November 30th and December 14th here at the City Hall. And Jay Wasserman, who's heading up putting together our PSR program, continues to recruit additional volunteers for participation and for attendance at future Citizens Academy presentations. So if anybody would like to participate in the volunteer police program, contact Jay or contact City Hall, and we'll get you in contact with Jay.
Now, this is a very good program that we've, the city has invested a lot in, and we'd like to expand it. It would really help out a lot of the participation of the citizens here in Villa Park. And of course, they would even sometimes be called to other areas as well in the PSR program.
That's possible.
Yes, possible. So we encourage that, and it's so nice to have Jay here because he's also a resident as well.
Yes, Jay's a resident, and yeah, he's very enthusiastic member of the sheriff volunteer sheriff. What's it called? Or sheriff
yes.
reserve program. Yeah, good guy.
And of course, it's all coordinated in close concert with Lieutenant Puckett and the North Office of the Sheriff.
I have a question on the CERT program. The CERT program, it's still active? It didn't need to come back to council to have that active if we're already doing training? Because all the equipment we have is obsolete, so.
I wouldn't say the equipment's obsolete. Sorry, that's a little loud. Can you turn it down? I wouldn't say the equipment's obsolete. I mean, some of the water might be expired back there and had a refresher, but I know not too long ago, Tom Dodge, Wayne Sazelle, and perhaps another member inventoried the supplies in the trailer and were taking action on that. This is just a refresher course, so it's not certification at this time. Tom Dodge is still listed as a co-coordinator on the city's resolution with regards to CERT, and they've operated pretty independently from the city. They structured it that way, so they have every right to.
So is CERT part of the city or not part of the city?
It's organized underneath the city, but they operate independently, if that makes any sense.
It makes none.
Well, anyway, that's the way it works right now.
Operates like Neighborhood Watch,
Yeah.
Where they kind of handle themselves and provide direction, and that's how CERT was structured here.
So when we get ready to purchase new equipment, will that come back to council though? Because I know that there were packets that went to the old CERT people and that we don't have those anymore, so.
Those packets were given to us by a grant many years ago when Orange County Fire Authority and CERT first came to the scene. There is a budget in the fiscal year 16-17 that I believe allocates about $10,000 perhaps to CERT, somewhere around that line. It falls underneath the city manager signing authority, so if the city manager deems that this equipment is appropriate.
Okay, thank you. Villa Park Community Services Foundation, Rick?
The Villa Park Community Services Foundation, I'm terrible, I do the same thing at fire, did meet. They discussed the various events, including the Christmas, the boat parade, and apparently there won't be a pre-party this year. The Marine Thanksgiving event apparently came off pretty well. I think they got 98 Marines signed up this year. And they came in, I think, about $100 under budget. Robert Frackleton has been administering, did a great job. He's restructured the gifts. They're not doing watches this year. And they held under budget, so I think the foundation's not out any money, and we're going with almost 100 kids, and
Absolutely, that
And
sounds great.
and it looks good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else of particular consequence there. I know they're discussing the possibility of getting an outside bookkeeper so they can have some stability in lieu of trying to float a treasurer through and constantly live that life cycle, and I strongly encourage them to do that. And that's about all I remember.
Okay.
Terry's here. Terry, do you have any comment on?
Max?
I think, I think I was supposed to call you up, wasn't I? I'm sorry.
Yes, you were, but that's okay.
All right.
I was trying to
There,
give
I
you
did
that
it.
mental
I
telepathy.
did it. I wasn't looking up.
Right, of course
But I got there.
That's all right, and I do appreciate that. The Villa Park Dryland Yacht Parade is coming up on December 11th, Sunday, always the second Sunday of the month. And we're hoping everybody comes out there and participates. And of course, this is the traditional meeting where we announce who our Grand Marshal is. So as keeping with tradition, I will start my song. Thank you very much. Grandma got run over by a speedboat, walking across the street in Old VP. You may think you can't sail boats on asphalt. As for me and Grandpa, we believe. We were settin' in our lawn chairs while the boats went sailing by. She saw her neighbors had some eggnog and thought she would give some a try. Grandma started across the street when A boat with a happy, friendly crew sped by and swept up Grandma, and she fell back into their sea-doo. Grandma got run over by a speedboat, walking across the street in OVP. You may think you can't sail boats on asphalt. As for me and Grandpa, we believe we all had to rescue Grandma. So to town center we did go, passing all the lovely entries. Villa Park streets were all aglow. They had food, games, and vendors, and entertainment. That was great. Then the awarding of the trophies started about 7:45. Oh, Grandma got run over by a speedboat, walking across the street in OVP. You may think you can't sail boats on asphalt. As for me and Grandpa, we believe. I can hear you all asking, who's the Grand Marshal? Tell us, please. 2016's Grand Marshal is none other than Mr. Brad Reese. Oh, everybody, Grandma got run over by a speedboat, walking across the street in OVP. You may think you can't float boats on asphalt. As for me and Grandpa, we believe. Thank you very much.
All right. My, thank you, Terry. Other information from the foundation, Rick?
No, I kind of saw Terry there and kind of refreshed my memory.
Okay. Friends, Friends of the Library.
We had a brief meeting. Just a bit of a note that I don't know if I mentioned it last month or not, but the county has decided that the county libraries no longer need pages. And so all of the pages that are in the county library will be out of a job December 31st. For those of you who don't know what a page is, they're the ones who put the books away. And our small little library has 3 of them. And some pages have been working for the county. Some of them have worked 18 years, 19 years. Some of them have been there just a year, but they're apparently are not on the budget of the county, and they're not union employees. So the county has deemed them that they're not on the budget, and they no longer will have a job. So as of 12/31, there'll be no one putting the books away there except the normal employees. So that's a big deal for all the county libraries if we have 3 of them here.
Wow.
So just thought I'd make mention
That's
of
a
that.
shame.
They need a union.
Well, I think that all these years, they haven't been part of the union, so that probably was a negotiating factor of some sort. That's not something that the Friends know anything about. We just know that they're going to be without, 3 part-time people who put their books away. And that's,
They're part-time though, right?
yeah, they can't work more than 20 hours a pay period. And they don't get paid very much money. They're between $10 and $15 an hour.
Okay.
But they were loyal.
That's sad. Fire Board, Rick.
Fire board. Well, not a whole lot going on in fire. I guess we got a couple things going on down there. They're trying to staff the trucks up to 4-man trucks, so that they can more efficiently get paramedic services out there. That's kind of one of the big items that's rolling along. I'm not going to get into it. You could go back and forth on it, but the concept is that if you've got 4 guys, you don't need the little ambulance, not the ambulance, but the paramedic truck. I guess it goes along with it. You get enough guys on there, you can treat people with their procedures, and it supposedly gets the treatment started faster. That's one of the big things going on. From my perspective, my involvement with fire is basically monetary, and I remain frustrated. I tried to get fire again to accept a free evaluation of the agency's pension deficit liability, which they claim, according to OSERS, which is the Orange County Employees Retirement System, they claim that their pension deficit or underfunding is about $450 million. I suspect it is drastically higher than that. And Stanford University's graduate school, 5 professors out of the Graduate School of Public Administration Economics have offered to provide them with a free analysis of what they independently feel is a reasonable figure for the deficit. One of them is a Nobel laureate economist, and four other PhD professors at the graduate school. And to date, I have not been able to get the board to accept the free evaluation from Stanford. I don't think they want to hear it, right, kind of my perception. They've pushed it off to a committee because I don't think they want to vote on it. I've put it back on again for Thursday to agendize and address it again. And I frankly have been in the process of trying to get a cartoon that shows the OCFA dais with the chairman with a hammer or with a gavel talking about whether or not how many extra uniforms we should buy, which was one of the issues on last month's agenda. And then I want to have Villa Park pointing at the gigantic anvil that's about to crush the entire dais with the phrase pension deficit on it, with a steel cable frayed with a couple of wires left. So that's my desire, but I so far haven't been able to find anybody to draw the cartoon, so I may not be able to present it. But that will be my last meeting, and hopefully I'll get that cartoon together and be able to put that in there. But why a board of directors would not want that kind of high quality evaluation of their liability, it just kind of tells you where we're at today in finance and unions, et cetera. So that's my fire report.
Great, thank you. Fire Authority, can we have a report for this month? Chief Maldonado?
Captain Maldonado, I'm the captain here at Station 23. Mayor, council, and city staff, name is Captain Maldonado. We ran from October 15 to November 15. We ran about 28 calls, and that's including in city of Orange. No major fires to report. Those are our calls for this month.
Great, thank
How
you.
many of those were fire calls? Any?
None.
None. All medical?
All medical calls.
Okay, here in Villa Park.
Quick assist included in there.
Okay, all right, thank you. At this time, if there is any other questions of council for the fire authority?
No, I don't have any question. I have an announcement. Just
Oh,
to-
please,
we
please
had
do.
a flu shot clinic here, and I just wanted to
Oh, yes.
let everyone know, if you didn't come to get your flu shot, it was extremely successful. The county gives us 200 shots, and we administered like 188 shots. So it was a packed house, and I'm glad that we were able to offer that service. We had 2 volunteer nurses in here who volunteered their time for 4 hours, and it was very well received from the community. And also, we had a very successful Halloween fest
Yes.
with the foundation. Very successful, even though it rained right when it was supposed to start. There were, the fire department estimated about 2,000 people were in here for the Halloween fest. So it was, a lot of candy was given out that day, and it was quite successful. We had a nice dog contest, a dog Halloween costume contest. and
Yes.
It was very cute. So if you missed it, we welcome you to come next,
It'll be there next year.
yeah, come here next year.
It's always the 30th of October, every year.
It's great. And
So-
also in our town center here, Chase Bank opened this week. I went over there, introduced myself to the manager. If you are around there, it's a very sophisticated, small little bank with some really nice computers. Everything is computerized in there. They don't have a normal teller window. They have a few employees that stand next to the machine in case you don't know how to operate it. And if the machine can't do the work for you, then this big screen that looks like a wall raises itself, and it becomes a teller window, and they walk behind there and assist you from behind the counter. And they have 2 ATMs, one on the outside, one on the inside. The one on the inside is closed at night, and it's locked, and your debit card is what unlocks the door for you to be able to go in and use the ATM that is on the inside. And their machines give out 5s, 10s, 20s, and 100s also.
Wow.
So I was a little bit impressed with it, although I don't bank with Chase Bank, but the machines looked really kind of cool, so
Nice.
they're open now.
Any other issues? Jared?
Just need to report out from closed session. The city council met before this general session. pursuant to Public Employment Government Code 54-957, Title City Manager, and there was no reportable action.
Thank you. At this time, is there any other issues from the council that need to be brought up? Any other reports? Seeing none, we'd like to move to public comments. At this time, anybody in the public may address the council on any off-agenda item. And the agendas have been, they're put in the back to make sure, provided that no action can be taken on any of these items unless authorized and agendized at the next meeting. Comments are limited to 5 minutes per person and 30 minutes for all comments. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to address the council? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council. Any issues here? Okay. Should we proceed to public hearing number 1, which is our item number 2? First hearing tonight is read and waive the reading in full of all the ordinances on the resolution. Council members, do you have any questions of staff? Anyone to speak on this hearing at all? Is there a motion on this matter?
Yep.
Okay. I'll second it.
A voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Very good. Going on to, the next thing we're going to hearing is the adaptation of a 2016 building standard codes. Council members, do you have any questions of staff presently? Seeing none, is there anyone here to wish to speak at this hearing? If so, please step forward to the podium. Seeing none, is there any discussion that we'd like to take up right now at this moment?
I'll move it.
And I'll second it. Jared?
I just need to read the title into the record. This is to adopt the first reading of ordinance number 2016-602, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Villa Park amending chapters 9 and 11 of the Villa Park Municipal Code, adopting by reference the 2016 editions of the California Building Standards Codes and making amendments thereto. Councilman Barnett.
Yes.
Mayor Mills.
Yes.
Councilman Colacott.
Yes.
Councilman Fasenelli.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nelson.
Yes.
The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Next, our hearing is the zoning and municipal code amendments banning all cannabis and medical marijuana-related activities within the city to the maximum extent permitted by law. Council members, do you have any questions of staff regarding this zoning amendment?
What's the maximum extent permitted by law?
6 indoor points.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
In response to Proposition 64, which allows adult use of marijuana, that still permits the city to retain its zoning control over marijuana dispensaries and cultivation, with the exception of the Proposition 64 allows 6 plants to be grown in one residence. And so the zoning code is amended to reflect that. Otherwise, we've extended the dispensary prohibition to all marijuana dispensaries, not just medical marijuana dispensaries. So that's the maximum extent permitted is continued zoning control with that one small carve out for personal cultivation.
Now, personal cultivation, is that inside and or outside?
It's inside.
Inside only?
It's inside only. The city can ban outdoor cultivation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
How big does a marijuana plant get?
Council?
No idea.
Not entirely sure. Mayor.
You know, watching
That's
some
a
of
pretty
the
good answer.
game warden shows, they can, I imagine it looks like, a crop of corn.
Well, let's ask the sheriff.
5 or 6 feet?
Yeah.
So we couldn't have it where you open the windows and there's like branches coming out of different windows? Not a one plant house?
Okay, is there anyone here to speak on, barring that, is there any other comments from council? Is there anyone here to speak at this hearing on this subject? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for any other discussion regarding this item.
I'll move it.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. To read it into the record, the motion is to adopt the first reading, schedule a second reading for ordinance number 2016-603, Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Villa Park, California, adding Article 5-15 and amending sections 23-3.4 and 23-5 of the Villa Park Municipal Code to prohibit all cannabis-related uses, including medical and commercial cannabis activities, and prohibiting the delivery and cultivation of cannabis in the city. Councilman Barnett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasenelli.
Yes.
Councilman Colacott.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nelson.
Yes.
Mayor Mills.
Yes.
The motion carries 5-0.
Next, we'll consider the consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and usually enacted by one motion, approving the recommended action listing as on the agenda. Any member of the city council, staff, or the public may request an item be removed for the consent calendar for discussion and/or separate action. Council members, are there any items you would like to remove from the consent calendar this evening? Any from the public that would like to be removed for the consent calendar for this evening? We have a motion to move these items. I'll second
move.
it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion is to review or to approve the consent calendar. Councilman Barnett.
Yes.
Mayor Mills.
Yes.
Councilman Colacott.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasenelli.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nelson.
Yes.
The motion carries 5-0.
Now we'll move to mayor and council member matters. Now it's the time to hear from individual council members about information items that we haven't covered in the review at the beginning of the meeting, starting with council member Colacott.
Nothing to report.
Councilwoman Fasenelli?
I have nothing to report, but there's a few items I want to make sure that we
Okay.
get out and let the community know. We did talk about our dry land parade, which is on the 11th, and we also have our annual Sanitor, the council Sanitor, where we will get on the fire truck and go through the city. Starts around 8 o'clock in the morning, and that will be on Saturday, December 10th. So if you want to mark that, and we start over here by Councilman Collicutt's house, and then we move our way into the city. In addition to that, I wanted to make a mention with the Marines that we have our Orange Villa Park chapter of the National League of Young Men who is wrapping the gifts for the Marines this year. So we try to make it, we try to allow our organizations here that are in Villa Park to participate in some of the community events that we put through the foundation. So they're all very honored that they were invited to wrap those gifts for the Marines.
They've been doing that for a few years, actually.
Yeah, so it was very nice that they included us again this year, so I want to make sure that. I also went to an earthquake workshop that SCAG put on and listened to Lucy Dunn, famous Lucy Dunn, who, has been around a long time, scare us when the big one does finally hit here, which makes me not want to leave Villa Park because we don't have any buildings like that. But I'm just reminding everyone to have your earthquake kit, have your papers in order, because when it does hit, even if it's little, you should be, if you don't have your documents in order, you don't have any water, we're going to have a little bit of a problem. So make sure, it's kind of the end of the year, look and make sure that you have your kits available, your paperwork in order, because accidents do happen. And that was something that you wanted to remind us about, as well as reminding the city to have adequate reserves and have a safety plan also. And that's one thing I wanted to bring up, Jared. Do we have a safety plan as far as the city goes?
We do operate under a emergency operations plan, so.
We do, okay. And that was one of the things I wanted to do. And I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Do we have any, that's a good point, do we have any practice sessions with the sheriff and the fire department on something like that?
No, we don't have any practice sessions with our deputies. Occasionally, we'll attend one of the Orange County Emergency Managers Operation meetings up at Loma Ridge, where they have plenty of roundtable discussions. That's when and if we have the resources, send a staff member up there, though.
Okay.
I've
Councilman
got
Barnett?
one comment. I'd like to congratulate Robbie Pitts on
Okay.
his successful election, our new council member sitting there, in case anybody doesn't know him.
Okay. Welcome, Robbie. Elect. Nothing else? Mayor Pro Tem?
No.
That leaves it up to me. I guess I'd like to, of course, remind everyone again about the Marine Thanksgiving and have a happy Thanksgiving. This is my last meeting tonight because I ran for Serrano Water District, Division 3, and The way that works with the special district, I have to give up my seat on the city council upon administering the oath, which will be on December 2nd. So there'll be a week and a half or so, whatever, almost 2 weeks of course, Bill will be presiding at all those meetings from then on. And other than that, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
I believe that might be a record.
It has to be a record.